Hey YouTube, I thought I'd just do a quick 5-minute video on something that I've been trying out new. I have known about it for a while and I did do a short video about it a while ago and it's called back button focus. But what happened was I couldn't get used to using it, so I sort of stopped using it because I'm used to my way, which is focus, recompose, one shot and taking the picture. I didn't use it. But then I watched a video the other day of, I can't remember who it was now. I think it might have been Joe Busink, maybe. And he explained why using it would be better. And another photographer, I can't remember his name, I'm not sure if it was Sal something. He said that you can get the bonus of, if you use back button focus, you can get the bonus of putting your camera into AI servo and leaving it in AI servo, so that you can press the button on the back of the camera and when whatever's in focus is in focus, it'll blink red. So if you're on the centre focus point and you're focusing on that flower in the distance over there, in fact I'll just zoom into that if I can. If you're focusing on that flower there, you'll see so you'll press and hold the button on the back of the camera, you'll see the centre point, for me because I use the centre point, blink red, and then you've got to let go of it because you're in AI servo. Then I can take the picture. So if that was a model, I'd go up to the eyeball with a centre focus point, press the button on the back of the camera. As soon as it blinked red, because it doesn't beep in AI servo, I know I'm in focus, recompose and take my shot. And let's say for instance we're doing a party or something like that, or a wedding. If the person starts to move, all you've got to do with back button focus is hold that back button in, and you're now straight in AI servo without changing any settings, and you can just follow along and you never miss the action. So hopefully that's clear enough. Now I'm just going to quickly get my camera in my hand. I am here, by the way, I'm just at the side of the camera. I'll just move slightly away. So back button focus, why is it good? So if I now go over that flower and I'm going to use my centre focus point and go, now that's in focus. Now I can put it to a normal one shot and you'll hear it beep. Just listen. Don't know if you heard that, but that's one shot using the back button. This one here, let me just, I know you can't see it and I'm sorry about that, but watch. Sorry, I'm going wrong way. Where am I going? Can you hear my camera beeping? I'm using the back button. But that also enables my meter. So let me just put it back to normal shooting as a lot of people have it, which means that now it's the normal button there, which we all use to focus and lock, right? So if I now focus on the centre of that flower and hold in, I'm getting 400 of a second. If I move my camera now and point it there, what I'm pointing at is really, really dark. But if I look through my viewfinder, my shutter speed's still 400 of a second. It hasn't changed because I locked it over there. When I half press that button, I locked focus and I locked the meter on the camera. But watch what happens now if I go into the 60D menu. Now I'll tell you this for the 60D, but I don't know how it is on all your cameras. I go to the custom functions and it is the 4th custom function down, and it's the first one you come to, AF and metering buttons. And I think 7 is default. Press OK, set, and put it to 1. Now what will happen, I'll do the same thing again. I'm getting 400 of a second again. Now I'm going to move and put my camera back there and I'm going to look through the viewfinder, and because I didn't let go of the button, it's still 400 of a second. And that's what happens when you're using your shutter button, isn't it? You hold your finger on it because you don't want to lose focus. Because if that was the shutter button that I was holding, can you see it's the back button? If I let go of that now and press it, it's refocusing, and that's what happens when you press the front. So this time I'm going to use the back button again, but when it focuses I'm then going to release the back button, because that's not going to take my picture. My normal shutter button is going to take the picture, but that no longer focuses, the back button does. So here we go. 640 of a second because the sun's just come out. Now I'm going to turn it back towards the camera. So now look, I'm just out of frame here. And now I'm going to press my shutter button and now I'm at 1/8 of a second. Do you see why it's better? So I've recomposed and my meter's kept going and it's kept metering the scene as I change. So where would this help? Well, a prime example, you know when we go outside and we take shots of people and sometimes we use the centre focus point and we come up to the eyeball, and when we press the shutter button, we take a meter reading and we focus on the eyeball. But if the sky's in the shot, yeah, so the shutter speed can be 1/4000 of a second. So when you focus and it locks in at 1/4000 of a second and you recompose to get your framing and the sky may no longer be in the shot, then what will happen is your shutter speed will be locked in at 1/4000 of a second. That won't change, it's locked until you've took your picture and you take another reading again. With back button focus, what will happen is you will come up to the eyeball as per usual, you'll press the back button in and hold it until it goes beep beep, and then when you let go, you'll get that same shutter speed at say 1/4000 of a second. But as you start to recompose and get your finger ready on the shutter button, you'll see the shutter speed will change all the time, because as you recompose and the sky starts to disappear, you might end up being from 1/4000 of a second to 800 of a second by the time you've got your frame in, and then you click your normal shutter button and as that won't focus anymore, it'll just take your picture. If you're coming down to recompose and your screen goes off because you weren't quick enough getting your frame in, all you got to do is press your normal shutter button and it'll reactivate. Don't hold it in though, press it and it'll reactivate your meter, and so it won't focus, it'll just bring your meter back on and you could be at 800 of a second and take the picture. And that just works absolutely superb, and it gives you better exposures in AV and stuff like that. And I highly recommend it. And one other thing that you can do, I'm just going to stand here, but what you can do is you can put your camera in AI servo so you can focus, and then the only thing is when you put your camera in AI servo, when it achieves focus, if you listen now, it beeps, listen, it beeps, but in AI servo it doesn't. So what you do is you change your camera into AI servo. If you're wanting to photograph a model, you will still use your back button and you'll hold the camera over her eye and you'll press the button until you... So I'm going to do it on the flower now. Oh, I'm not in AI servo, just hang on. Right, okay, I'm going to let go. I pressed it for a quick second and it went red, but it didn't beep. So, and then you've got to let go. If you don't let go when you recompose your camera will keep focusing because you're in AI servo. So basically, you've got one shot and AI servo together. So you press the button, you hold it in. If you're focusing on that flower, as soon as you see your focus point go red, let go of your back button, take your picture, or recompose and take your picture. But if the flower... A flower would never do this, but a person would. If the flower was to start walking, all you got to do is quickly grab your back button, press it and hold it in, and you're in AI servo. And you can just follow the subject along, clicking the shot. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic. And I did it the other day. And to be honest, I can't really show you the pictures because there are somebody's kids and they don't really want me to. But I did it at a fairground and it worked great. Do you know what I mean? But it did take a little minute to get used to it. If you don't practice it, you won't want to do it and you'll say, screw that, John, I'm just going to use one shot. But you'll benefit much more for speed-wise as well as exposure. You'll benefit much more by doing it this way. If you're not in a rush and everything's steady away, then fair enough, use manual like I do and just take your time. But I'm talking like weddings, kids photography that are moving about, parties, where the actions just go, 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 go. You've got AI servo under your belt without changing your camera to it. It'd be alright looking at that flower now, taking pictures, going, oh, that's a lovely flower. And then all of a sudden it goes for a walk down the street and you've got to quickly turn your camera around, press your button, knock it into AI servo and then go back up. This way it's there. AI servo's always there. But you've just got to get used to using two fingers to take the shot. That's all. Well, not to take the shot, but you use two fingers. But you basically now, my fingers, I've got one on the shutter button. Oops, I can't, I'm trying to know which. One's there, which is, that does nothing. Can you hear the camera's doing nothing? Press this one now. you still won't hear it because I've got it on AI servo. Let me just knock it on one shot for now. There, watch. That's now my focus. Let go, recompose, and my meter, and then press my shutter and take the shot. And my meter will have changed from when I focused then and recomposed, whereas the other way around, as soon as I focus with the front button, let's forget the back one, I'll take my hand away now, I'd go for, I'll go put it back to 1 again, just one more time. Put it back to 7, focus, 3/20th of a second, recompose. My meter's still 3/20th of a second no matter what I do until I take the shot. Go and knock it back into back button focus. Lock the meter, 3/20th of a second, recompose, 1/8 of a second I'm getting now to take the picture. Yeah, and you'll get, that's why you use back button. I know a lot of people mention back button focus. Now I have known about it for a while, I'll be honest with you, and I'm telling you from me to you that use it, even if you struggle with it, practice. Anyway, thanks for watching, please comment and subscribe.